bells and whistles? I mean, where do you even start? Well, don't worry. We're gonna do this together, step by step. We'll explore this amazing program, and before you know it, you're making amazing video edits. Working with sound and music, animating graphics or text, color correcting those bad shots, or fixing audio issues. You'll be applying effects to your videos, creating awesome transitions. Understand the toolbar right here and what all of these things do. All in all, just feel really comfortable with Premiere Pro, and that is my goal. By the end of this course, I want you to know the technical side of things, but also the creative side. Like what makes a good edit. You're gonna learn it all in this course, and I'm super excited to do that together with you. Oh, but I do have to warn you, I'm a little bit crazy. This is no ordinary Premiere course. What you see behind me is literally the inside of Premiere Pro. Like when you place a clip in the timeline, it actually comes through me first. I've got a very hectic job in here, and it doesn't always go so smooth. But I'm sure it's gonna entertain you. I mean, that keeps the lessons exciting, right? Learning should be fun, and I'm gonna take care of that. Throughout this course, I'm also gonna give you some tasks, so I might ask you to cut up an interview and then come back to the lessons. It's important that you immediately try the new techniques that you've learned. That's why as part of this course, you can download all of the media and project files that I'll be working with. That way you can follow along. It's gonna be a very hands-on course. Alright, let's do this, guys! I am super excited to start exploring Premiere Pro together and get you started with professional video editing. I hope to see you back in a moment. Oh, hey, you've joined the class! How cool is that? I was just working on the inside of Premiere, all is working well, so we are good to go. It's a professional tool, and if you're still doubting if it's the right choice or not, well, professional video editing is kind of the same over all of those different programs. So once you know how Premiere works, you can more easily switch over to something different like DaVinci Resolve or Final Cut Pro. But you were here to learn Premiere, which is a good choice because it's one of the most used video editing tools in the industry. So without further ado, let's get started, guys. What I've got right here on my desktop is a folder called Iceland Travel Video, and it holds all of my media files that I want to use to edit with. You can download all of this, by the way, so that you can follow along with this course. You can edit your own video with the demo footage that I'm using, and you can even upload that to YouTube to show it off to your friends. So what do we have in here? We've got an assets folder, which holds some effects videos. We've got some images as well, which we can use. We have a folder called audio, in which we've got the music track provided by our channel sponsor Audio. More about them later in this course, because I've got a very cool deal for you guys. We've got some sound effects, a lot which you don't have to worry about right now. It is for later in this course, so just ignore that. And finally, we've got a folder called video, basically all of my video files. And I've organized that in different folders too. You can see we've got a camera folder, a drone folder, and finally an interview folder. And that is the first step of starting your project. You want to make sure to be organized. What I do is organize all of my media into one folder. So that means whenever I'm going to drag that folder onto a different drive, perhaps I want to take that with me on the plane, on a different computer, who knows what, it always stays intact. Because if I have some media files outside of that folder, which I forget to take with me, then I won't be able to locate those files, and you will see the famous media offline. More about my t-shirt soon. So okay, you have organized all of your media files, and the way you do that doesn't matter. This is the way that I do it. If you want to have a different folder structure, then that is up to you, just as long as you are organized and that everything sits within one folder. Alright, we can now open up Adobe Premiere Pro. I have the beta installed. Don't worry about that. It's just so that this course will stay relevant for as long as possible, so that I am working on the brand new latest features. Alright, you'll be welcomed with this screen right here, which basically just asks you to create a new project file. Premiere wants you to create a new project before you can get started. I know that some other programs allows you to immediately get started. Well, Premiere don't. It wants you to save an actual project file, and that is what we're going to do right now. So we're just going to hit New Project. You can also open up an existing one if you want to, but for now, it's the first project, so let's hit New Project. Now, Premiere has changed a lot over the past years, and their philosophy of how you edit videos has kind of changed. At the top left here, you will see Import, Edit, and Export. Before, we only had the Edit tab, but now it wants you to think about importing your footage, then editing it, and then exporting it. And it did got some feedback from both beginners and professional video editors that we don't really like this so much. It makes things more complicated, and you will see in just a moment why that is. So chances are that Adobe is going to update this again in the near future. But for now, we're stuck with this. So what is this? We can see we've got a whole bunch of video clips right here that isn't even from us. Like, this is not my footage, guys. This is what everybody sees if you install Premiere. You can locate all of these sample media files by clicking here on the sample media on the left-hand side. Basically, Adobe gives you a whole bunch of media files that you can use to practice with. But you've got this course, you've got my footage, so you want to use that instead of this. But their idea is that you first browse to your footage. So we've got some on my desktop, so let me just click on that. And here we have that Iceland travel video, which I can open up. Here are those folders that we've explored before. Let's head over to video and then open up camera, for instance. So here we have a whole bunch of video clips from Iceland, and I can just view them through here, through my import tab, see what they are about. I could select them like this, and perhaps select a few more. And you can see them here piling up on the bottom. These are all the clips that I have selected. Now, the idea is that we already start thinking about what we want to import before we even start creating the projects. And on the right-hand side, we can choose how we want to import that, because there are a whole bunch of options that we can do with our footage. Like, for starters, do we want to copy the media? Like, if we have inserted our SD card into the computer, we can also browse directly to that within Premiere and choose to copy all those media files within that folder that I've created, the Iceland travel video folder. So we could enable that right here. Then we've got an option to create a new bin. So we can put all those selected media files already inside of a bin. We can already start creating a new sequence. You don't even know what a sequence is. Don't worry about that. And we can already start automatically transcribing the audio that is spoken within these media files. Now, I'm going to be honest, guys. If you are starting out with Premiere, this could be very overwhelming. And for professional video editors like me, this is just bloated with stuff that we don't need. So I don't know why Adobe made it like that, but it just is, and we gotta deal with it. Unless we choose not to import anything, and that is what I'm gonna choose. So I'm just gonna deselect my clips right in here, so that I have not anything selected. And when you don't have anything selected, the import settings tab will just be entirely ignored. So that means all of this here in your entire screen makes absolutely no sense. The only thing that we are interested in is a little panel here on top that says project name, and let's go for that. And I'm just gonna give this the name of the video lesson itself, so that's gonna be lesson number 2, starting a video project. But you can give that a different name as well, like my Iceland video or whatever your project is called. And then you want to choose where you want to save that project from the drop-down menu here on the right. And I'm going to choose a custom location. Click on that, and I'm currently on my desktop. That is good. Right here is my Iceland travel video, and like I said before, I want to have everything within that folder, so that's what I'll do. I'll double click on it, and I'm going to create a new folder in here. So right click, new folder, and I'm going to call that projects. Since I'll be working with multiple projects, I want to put them all in a different folder. Now, typically, you are not going to work with multiple projects. If you've traveled to Iceland, you probably just want to have one project called Iceland Travel Video, but I'm going to make a different project for every single lesson so that you guys can better follow along. All right, so let's choose that folder. Hit select folder, and that's it. Now I'm just going to click on create. Remember, I don't have any video files selected, so nothing will be imported. And here we are. Welcome inside Adobe Premiere Pro. How exciting is this, guys? More bells and whistles. No worries. So I'm just going to minimize Premiere for a second because I'm going to show you guys now. In my Iceland travel video folder, I've got that folder project, and within there, you will find your Premiere project now that you have just created. So everything you do, all the cuts you place, all the effects you put on your videos is saved within that project. All right, so now you're probably stuck with the question, Jordy, you've skipped importing. How do we start editing now? How can we import media files? Well, there's a much better way of doing that, which I'm happy to show you in the next lesson. Thanks for watching. Welcome to Adobe Premiere Pro. We have just created our project file and are now ready to start video editing. As you can see, we are now currently in the Edit tab on top. This is where we are going to do all of the editing. We're going to splice up the videos in here. We're going to do motion graphics, audio mixing, color correction, and whatnot. All of that happens in here. Now, as you can see, Premiere exists out of different panels. If I click on these, you will see this blue outline appear around them. Now, panels like these offer different functionalities, which we'll get into in a moment. But you can take any of these, like for instance the effects controls, and just drag that over to a different location.